Parents, watch this quick 5-minute video to see how your teen can study for both the AP exams and the SAT at the same time. Now, parents, a lot of your students are going to be taking the AP exams in May and the SAT in June. And I understand that this can be very, very overwhelming. However, there is an easy way to do it. This is how my students have done it. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, my name is Jared Wynn. I am the founder and director of Geometry Gurus SAT Tutoring. At this point in my career, I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores so that they can go to their dream colleges and qualify for scholarships. In every single video that I post, I give you guys one actionable step to help your teen increase their SAT score. With that being said, let's get straight into it, guys. Here are three. Here are three steps to helping your teen increase their SAT score and AP exam scores at the same time. So the first thing is, for both of them, stop practicing things that you already know how to do. What do I mean by this? You need to diagnose your teen's weaknesses so that they don't waste valuable time practicing things that they already know how to do. Studying for APs and SATs, that's a lot of content to cover if you're just gonna do front to back material, all the material of all AP exams and all SAT exams, okay? That is a lot of work. So what you need to do is just to figure out which of the key concepts are you actually struggling with right now. So that way you're not just wasting time doing things you already know how to do, and you make sure you're not just staying at a point where you're comfortable, okay? Because if you just practice things where you're comfortable, you're gonna put yourself in a false sense of security once you go to the exam. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I practiced these things a million times, but in reality, you weren't working on anything that you were the weakest at. You're only working on things that you're good at. So the stuff that gets a little bit harder in the exam, you're gonna end up folding because you didn't actually practice those things properly. All right, so practicing things that you're weakest in makes it so that your sessions are more efficient, and so that you're actually getting a lot of benefit out of these study sessions rather than just diddly-daddling for 3 to 4 hours a day, okay? Because my best students, they don't study for 3 to 4 hours a day. They do focused studying on only the concepts that really matter to them, the big impact concepts that are gonna help them get the results that they're looking for, okay? Number two, the second tip that I give my students is to effectively master time blocking. Okay, time blocking is something that your teen is gonna be using for their entire life, not just for these AP exams, okay? Because you guys need to remember, okay, that they're gonna be going to college in 1 to 2 years, depending on where your teen is at. This is a very normal thing where they have to juggle multiple exams and midterms in the same week. So the better that they get this done now, the better set up they're gonna be by the time they hit college, all right? So I have my students utilize Google Calendar so they can time block the minute they get home to when they go to sleep, okay? And this is just something where it's like, you have to do it, guys, or else you're gonna be wasting a lot of valuable time. So I even have them schedule their breaks. So for example, I had a student, he did multiple APs and multiple extracurriculars, right? So the minute he get home, he would be about 3 o'clock p.m., right? From 3 o'clock to 4 p.m., he was, I had him schedule out an hour for one particular AP exam, okay? After that hour, I had them schedule out a 30-minute break before going to practice, right? He played basketball, and then he would go from practice from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, he was studying. Then 4 o'clock to 4:30, he was resting, okay? And then that drive to practice went to 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, he would get home. So by the time he's home from practice, it would be about 6:30. 6:30 to 7, he would eat dinner. 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, he would do another AP exam, another AP study, a subject, right? For example, AP Calculus, whatever. He would do that for a focused hour, take another 30-minute break, then work on SATs at the end of the day before he went to sleep, and then he would sleep at 10 o'clock, okay? That was a typical schedule for him. Now, that is one way to do it, right? Is just, schedule your breaks. I know some of you guys are doing more than 1 or 2 AP exams, right? The process is still exactly the same. You just need to find a scheduling that works for you. For this particular student, he knew that he could do like 2 APs a day. He was taking 4 for that year, so he knew that he could do 2 APs on Mondays, two APs on Tuesdays for those types of work, because he was working on a block schedule. If an hour doesn't work for you, 30 minutes is fine as well, okay? It does not matter. As long as you're scheduling time for focused work, you're good, because that way your brain is continuously refreshed. You're not, jumping around from topic to topic. No, you're laser focused on one topic, and then you refresh your brain with the break. So that way you're not scattered. It's like linear focus, linear break, no electronics, nothing like that. And then you're all good to go for the next subject, okay? Or for the next extracurricular, whatever it is that you're doing. It does require some discipline, but hey, if you want your team to get to where they need to be disciplined anyway, all right? Now, the last thing that I have to tell you guys kind of has to do with number 2, which I just told you. Yes, we can go into the Pomodoro technique and everything like that. I'll cover that in a different video of how I use that with my students. But the third way to get your team to be able to study both the AP exams and the SAT at the same time is what we call here the lima bean theory, okay? So the lima bean theory is essentially this, okay? You work on the one topic that you hate the most the first thing you get home or the first thing you do when you study, okay? For example, right, your kids, you give them a plate of steak, mashed potatoes, and lima beans, right? You hate the lima beans, but you love the steak and potatoes. You eat the lima beans first because you get that out of the way, so then the steak and the mashed potatoes, it tastes a lot better, right? Or you can actually enjoy the things you actually like to do rather than just saving the lima beans for the end. You're like, oh, I just had all this good time. I have to go eat the lima beans now. So for example, if you hate SAT the most, do the SAT work first, because that means once you get that out of the way, you can easily tackle that AP exams. You can easily tackle, stuff that you actually, is not as much of a chore for you to do. Okay, so if I were to time block that, again, I'm going to tie this to number 2. Once you get home, you would block out that first hour for SAT. Just get it done right away, and then time block the rest of the stuff after that. Okay, so that is how my students increase their scores, both in the AP exams and the SATs, if they're going to be taking both at once. So as a quick recap, number 1, you want to make sure that you're working only on the things that you actually need to work on. Work on your weaknesses, not things that you're comfortable in. Learn how to time block effectively based on your schedule. And then finally, do the lima bean effect, in which you do the worst thing first, okay? I guarantee you, if you follow that to a T, if you're disciplined and you're consistent with that, you're gonna get the results that you're looking for, all right? Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you guys need any help applying this, feel free to leave a comment below this video, or go ahead and DM me on Facebook or Instagram, okay? Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you.